Andy added before we joined, he said it's going to be a long road to November. I would contend like what happened this weekend is part of the plan to say we're in a national emergency. There is no November, Andy. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But
we'll talk. We
we'll
could
see.
let's.
There is, yeah, we'll have a whole discussion, Dave. I don't think today we're gonna have a whole discussion on the upcoming efforts to avoid or delegitimize the upcoming elections. Like the game is afoot, Dave. We already know the game is afoot. These elections are not going to be accepted if they occur. We are setting up for yet another, constitutional crisis, and we're going to see what America does. We're going to see what
We
America
are
does.
we are getting closer to a constitutional
Yeah,
crisis.
yeah. I
As
mean, it's coming. It's coming. So, but I mean, there's so much to deal with just today, Dave. We start March on the second day of March 2026, Dave. There's so much to fucking be outraged about.
There's a lot, and most people would say, well, surely Dave and Andy are going to start with what happened over the weekend in Iran and all this other stuff. Waking up on Saturday morning, Dave wanted to do an emergency pod, Andy chickening out, you know. But no, Andy, we're not going to start with an emergency pod. We're not going to start with Iran. Let's just we'll have plenty of time to talk about it for sure because there's a lot to be outraged on.
Yeah.
But let's try to do another segment non-Iran, okay?
Okay. All right. All right.
How was your weekend, Andy?
It's a good place to start, Dave. It's a good place to start. We wrapped up
Because
one
you've
month.
got a fitness goal coming up, by mind you. You've
I
got
don't
a
think it's a
fitness.
goal. It's a
Okay,
silly thing that I signed up for, not thinking and appreciating the reality of the timeline. Let's, it's not a goal, not a goal,
okay, all right,
but
fine. It's
maybe.
not.
So I did have a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend?
It was fun. It was fine, other than what happened. Yeah,
I had a good football game. So a couple of things. First, I want to, we have obviously, there's lots of people listening to our podcast. God bless them. Don't know why, but they do. We don't know them. So thank you for listening and tolerating our nonsense. And we appreciate you. We'd love to get to know you. We'd love to get to know you. And then we have family that listens. We like to talk about Mama J and her weighing in and giving us opinions and commentary. And we have friends that listen, and it's fun to get their feedback. So I was encouraged. One of our regular listeners and friends, Chris Frazier on the socials, was weighing in, Dave, and he was weighing in on our likes and dislikes segment, and he was appreciative of some of the good things we were talking about. But Chris disagreed somewhat, where as a bearded American, he took issue with my observation that you can't trust beards. You just can't trust them. And Chris is a good example of a good guy who I like, who I want to trust, but you can't trust beards. And so, Chris, until you shave that thing off your face, you're always going to be a little bit sus, my friend. That's just the way it is. And then I had a chance to sit down to dinner Saturday night with another regular listener, longtime friend, Strati. Thank you for listening and being so supportive. And he was saying how much he enjoyed the podcast. He enjoys the soapboxes, Dave. He enjoys the rants and raves. And Dave, he commented how much he appreciates the discussion on Sigourney Weaver. And yes, Dave, he concurs. Obviously, Sigourney Weaver has great sex appeal. So just want to thank those guys for listening. But Dave, beyond that, I had a good weekend. So you mentioned the run. Signed up for this run. Listeners have been listening. No, I signed up for this run. I don't know, January-ish time frame. Thought I couldn't do it. Didn't train for it. Realized I could a couple weeks ago. Half marathon coming up in 3 weeks' time, Dave. 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks now. I've only done two runs to prepare for it to this point. I've got two runs under my belt. I've got a 7.5 mile run that I did in Orlando 2 weekends ago. I went out this weekend, Dave, on the beautiful Virginia, Washington, and Old Dominion Trail. Dave, it was 62 degrees here in Northern Virginia. The trail was packed with families, cyclists, runners, walkers, dog walkers, kids on bikes, families on bikes. It was beautiful. I got to do a 10.10 mile run. I told myself if I could keep my pace under 12 minutes, which at this point in my life, I'm accepting that as a standard. If I can keep my pace average under 12 minutes over the duration of the run, I'm on track. I finished under that time. I was 11 something overall. But Dave, I can tell you, 2 days later, I'm still feeling it. So I'm undecided. I'm still undecided. I'm going to go. It's going to be 80 this weekend. I'm going to go out there and try and do a couple more miles on the distance. And I got to make a decision because it's like packet pickup and race weekend. So
What's the decision here, Andy? Like, look, let's just be real. I mean, one, if I were not having run and then I ran 7 and then 10 miles, like, of course your body's gonna be sore, But you showed that you did it. Like if I were to go out tomorrow and say I haven't run in a year and a half, I
Yeah,
think I would be happy if I ran 2 miles. Like I'd be content if I ran two
yeah,
miles.
yeah.
And my dilemma would be how fast could I elevate it so that I could get at 7 or 8 miles? Because if I could do that, then I could say I could do the extra five. Like I don't know. Like what are you really bitching about? You got 3 miles to go here. Like, but
Dave,
one,
I'm older now, man. My Achilles hurts. I'm hobbling around. My time was I was tired.
I know, but you did it. Like it's like, and here you said 10.10. What is that? Is that 10.1 or is
Yeah,
it
10.1, 10.1.
okay? Because 10.10 sounds like weird. It's like, what is that? 11? What are we like? Where are you going on this one?
10.1 miles, 10.1 miles. So
But
you're saying run. You're saying,
I'm saying like, look, you did 10, like 10. You couldn't like suss out the last 3 of them. I think you could probably crawl the rest of the way. You got to do it, Andy. That's where I'm at.
all right, well, I appreciate your clarity and direction. We'll see, Dave. Let me see when the packet pickup is and when the actual like no go decision has to be made. And I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'll let you and listeners know. And if I go out there and I cry and am miserable, I'll let you know. But Dave, one more thing, right? So as you know, I've been getting tattooed since I was 18 years old. I got two when I was 18. Took about a 30-year hiatus. I started a project. I got my arm done over a 10-year period. I worked on my arm, finished that up, finally last year. Got a couple others along the way. I've retired multiple times from the tattoo activity. I've called it a day. I got inspired again, and I had an idea. I reached out, and so I spent about 5 hours in the chair yesterday, actually lying down. And Dave, let me tell you something, man. Getting tattooed on your ribs hurts like a motherfucker, man. It
Oh,
is like there is no other way to put it. I was like a woman giving birth, practicing my breathing techniques, just trying to hold on for dear life. It was grueling, but I got a tattoo that I'm very happy with. It looks good. It's going to look good when it heals up. I'm happy with it. It has multiple meanings to me. Very appreciative of it. But holy moly, like if you can do something to still get your tattoo, but inebriate yourself before getting your ribs worked on, strongly encouraged, man. It was rough. But my artist was great. Thank you. She was awesome. Did great work, and I'm really excited about it.
you finally put my face on your ribs, huh?
I find your face is going somewhere else. It's going. I've got a special couple places where I could put your face in your mouth specifically, but that's neither here nor there, Dave. That's neither
Are
here nor
you are you doing like a full body, like upper body thing now? Is this
no.
gonna?
Once again, I'm retired. I'm retired. I'm done
Oh,
with
okay.
tattoos. But I do have two other ideas I'm considering. So
Oh, if you, I've never gotten into tattoos. I always thought I would want to put one on, but then I was like, yeah, it's probably pretty stupid, and never decided to do it. And I think it's okay. It's a good life choice for me here, Andy. But
so maybe I'll
um,
come down to North Carolina and visit and borrow you for a couple hours and bring you back home to your lovely wife with some new art on your body. We'll see. Let's
there,
see. Let's see.
there you go.
We'll go get matching Adam Sandler tattoos.
We could, or like in the Water Boy, where we put a tattoo of Roy Orbison on our ass, Henry Winkler.
Call back
And
to the Fonz episode we talked about on Friday. But
go
Dave,
back to the
thank
fun,
you.
jump in the shark.
That's right. Thank you for letting us start with some fun, positive things. It was a nice start to the month. Appreciate all things, but Dave, there's some really serious stuff I know we got to get into here. There's some
Ooh.
genuine outrage that we got to get into here because these are unfucking believable times. So let me stop talking and give you the ball back.
Okay. I like it's hard to know where we want to start on this one. Like there's been talk about Iran now for some time. And there was talk about getting a deal done. Andy, I'll remind everybody, one, President Obama in his second term, he got a deal done with Iran around their nuclear program and aspirations. It was done with a lot of other people. This was a big rallying cry with many of the right because how dare Obama agree to a deal with our sworn enemy and somebody who hates America, yada, yada, yada. They're going to lie, lie, lie. So what happens? Trump comes in his first term. gets out of that deal, says, I can make a better deal, and yet we don't have a deal. Like Trump, like the master con man.
Yeah.
I think this weekend showed the con, like complete con. But he says he's gonna get a better deal, hasn't gotten a deal. But he's back at the table over these last couple months with Jared Kushner, who his son-in-law, who is leading this negotiation. And while they're again, but in the summer, I forgot about this one, is in the summer, we obliterated their nuclear capability.
Obliterated.
The president said so. The White House put out a thing that says any suggestion that it's not been obliterated is fake media
Yeah.
sowing the seeds. This is not like us making that shit up. They put it out on the White House, Andy.
Yeah.
And so they obliterated it in the summer, but yet here we are. They're now an imminent threat, Andy. They're an imminent threat. So we had to take action. And that's what we saw Sunday or Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I saw an interesting piece here from somebody that said Benjamin Netanyahu has been egging presidents now for 20 some odd years to attack Iran.
Yeah.
And he finally found somebody dumb enough to do it.
Yeah.
And here we are, Andy.
Here we are.
And unfortunately, as a result, three service members are dead. More are going to come, Andy. We expect more to happen because the president has said so, and he's okay with it.
Yeah.
Hashtag send Baron. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, Andy, I don't know. What do you think when you woke up Saturday morning?
Dave, I'll be honest. So your text was the first thing I saw. I saw, and as soon as I saw your text saying, "Hey, do an emergency pod," I knew exactly what had happened, and so I checked in on the news and I saw it, and I was like, "Here we are, here we are. We're in the process of negotiation still. Like we were still at the table talking with Iran, and here we are bombing them. Another foreign war, more regime change from this president who came in with a lot of support from his MAGA base for no more foreign entanglement, no more regime change, following George W. Bush and others before him. We've already removed one worldwide leader. We've had attacks, I think, now in 9 countries. And now we're back in Iran to re-obliterate them because apparently our last obliteration was only temporary. I was shocked, not shocked. I was shocked because I just couldn't believe this was our reality right now. They are once again rushing into war, putting Americans at risk, putting Iranians at risk, putting the region at risk when there's no reason. There's just simply no reason for it, Dave. And so I was shocked by it, but then I was completely not shocked because this is a selfish, arrogant prick who will do these types of things with no consideration. I'll come back to our casualties piece, Dave, because I just can't get past that's the part I just can't get over.
Yeah, it's just complete outrage, and the basis for it all. Again, I just this is the ultimate con job because this president who's come in, and we can talk about this in a minute with like what are the Magites saying because I've never seen such a group of fucking like whatever flip floppers in my entire life. Because again, America first, and President Trump will say that means I'll do whatever it takes to put America first. That's not what the MAGA crowd believes. It means we're no longer entangled in these foreign wars. We're no longer going to be in these forever wars. We're going to be focused on America, America, America. And again, he's pulled the wool over there. If you're a MAGA believer, like what are you thinking right now, Andy? Like what?
Well, I can tell you, Dave. I can tell you. I think there's two parts to the MAGA crowd, right? Maybe more, probably more, but two clear distinctions. There's the MAGA, I love Donald Trump and he is infallible crowd, right? That whatever this president says and does, and however we can manipulate him along the way, Lindsey Graham,
Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer, yeah, we love him, we'll support him. And so no matter what this guy does, however corrupt, however gross, however reckless, however destructive of America's republic, they're fine with it because they're on board. They can get something out of it and they support it. That's not, to me, the MAGA crowd. That is a Donald Trump crowd, right? That is a cult of personality, corruption, manipulation that is a large part of the Donald Trump community, the ever shrinking community. But the other part, the the Marjorie Taylor Greene part of the community. While I disagree with a number of things and have great disapproval of many of the things that have been said, there's a part of the group that is genuinely passionate about America. We might disagree about things, but genuinely cares about America and is over reckless foreign wars, is over unnecessary violence, is over wasting US tax dollars on foreign adventure and domestic activities. Like, again, we can disagree about policy. But Dave, I've mentioned before, my neighbor who I met at a protest, I was protesting against the administration. He was protesting in support of Donald Trump and okay with a third term. I sat down with him and his MAGA friends. We broke bread. We talked. He reached out when we invaded Venezuela with strong disagreement, and he reached out really pissed Saturday, right? So there's a part of the MAGA community that's looking at Donald Trump and recognizing, yes, too late. Like many who are now, suffering from leopards eating their faces, there are many Americans who now realize we got duped. But a large part of the MAGA base, Dave, is looking at what's happening right now and saying, this is not what we thought we were signing up for. And that's going to come at a cost as president because he's not gaining a lot of new supporters, but he's losing some pretty critical ones. And I think that loss is real, and that's happening.
Yeah, I think so. What does this guy, what does this your neighbor say? Like, what was the belief in him in the first place? Like, what made him
Yeah.
believe in the first, like, there was an
I
outsider, that he was a shrewd businessman, he
No,
fails.
I think it was, Dave. I think a lot of Americans, myself certainly included, look at our two-party system and recognize that it is a failure to the American people. Neither Republican nor Democratic leadership is working for the American people. And I think you see that from individuals on the left as much who are extremely frustrated with their congressional leadership. People are frustrated, but people are seeing the rich get richer, politicians get richer, the average American continuing to struggle, nothing getting better, no real choices in elections, no chance to really make change. Well, whoever's in the White House, we keep doing the same things overseas, and nothing's getting better at home. We can't get health care for people. The economy is still struggling. People can't get the work they want. Education is suffering. And we're doing all this crazy shit overseas, regardless of what party's in power. And here comes Donald Trump, and he's something different, and he's going to break the system apart, and he's got the strength and personality and the I don't give a fuck about your traditions to be a change maker and really buck the two-party system. And he has, but he's done it in a selfish, reckless, dangerous way that I don't think they anticipated, at the risk of our Constitution and our republic. And he's now doing the same exact things that George W. Bush, that Barack Obama, that all the others did in launching foreign adventure, foreign war, getting us entangled in foreign activities, regime change. But with this president, even more short sighted because, Dave, what is the fucking mission in Iran? What is the objective? What is the end state? What is the victory? How do we get out? No
Yeah.
fucking idea.
Well,
No fucking
that's
idea.
what I wanted to talk about is like, what's the plan? Like, look, we Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, we can argue that the long term there was no long term plan, but at least they had a plan for the beginning and the transition of something. Here it was, we're the same thing in Venezuela. There is no plan in Venezuela. They took it out
Yeah.
and they hope that the people take it over and do the right things. And if that government does not support us going in to harvest their oil, then they'll be replaced too. In
Yeah.
Iran, what is the plan? He said he hopes that the IRGC and the leaders there, and he hopes that they make the right decisions, and he hopes that the people rise up. What does
Yes.
that mean, rise up, Andy?
Yeah.
And I sent you something else too this weekend about like the Iranian people, like, while they hated the government, the vacuum of government. Look what's going on in Syria. There's still not really a great situation there. Iraq is okay, but it's taken how long to get to Iraq to where it's at? It's 20 years now since really they've had any sort of like real government there, and it's kind of teetering as it is. You look at what's going on in Lebanon and some of these other countries, Andy. What's the hope there that they do? And so they're scared. The Iranian people are a little nervous about what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but the president has communicated no plan. And usually what happens if something like this, like air power can only take so much, like you can only do so much. Eventually you have to put boots on the ground to get the situation you want. If there isn't even, are Israeli forces going to go into Iran? I don't think so. That would be a fucking monumental disaster. Um, so it would have to be U.S. forces, right, Andy? Conceivably. I,
Yeah,
I,
and,
I
and,
don't
and
know.
it won't be like it won't be. This president will not put Americans on the ground. I believe that firmly, because he doesn't have the commitment to it. He doesn't have the stomach for it. Dave, if anybody listening, like you haven't stopped and looked at a map of the world and the region and the size of Iran, we cannot. We physically cannot occupy and provide stability to Iran. We couldn't do it in Iraq. Iran is much bigger. We cannot do it. And without a plan for the peace, without a plan for what comes after you kill the leader, you throw the country into potential chaos. Who benefits from a chaotic Iran? Who benefits from chaos and destabilization? Sure, Benjamin Netanyahu benefits from it. I'm not going to say the people of Israel benefit. Benjamin Netanyahu personally, and keeping power, he personally benefits from it. Others do too. Saudis were happy to see this happen as well, right? They're no better than another thug in power in Saudi Arabia. But to the Iranian people, chaos will follow, and this president will not do anything to properly stabilize what's happening right now in that region. There is no fucking plan. Dave, there was no threat. There was no need. And Dave, let's just get to it. Americans are dead. We know three have died. We know those numbers are probably low. We know there's probably more coming. The president himself said that those numbers are low. And this motherfucker in his fucking baseball cap wants to stand up and make his little speech. And he says, that's the way it is. That's the way it is, Dave. That's the fucking way it is. Americans, sons and daughters, young men and women who signed up to serve this nation, defend this nation from foreign enemies, are dead today because Donald Trump wanted to fight a fucking foreign war. Unprovoked, unnecessary, not needed. You can say Iran did it, so and so. The blood of those Americans, those devastated families, that blood belongs to Donald fucking Trump. And that callous, draft dodging son of a bitch wants to stand in front of the American people and nonchalantly say, hey, these are brave young Americans. Casualties are going to happen in war. That's the way it is. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Send your douchebag fucking bitch sons, Eric and Don Jr., to fight in that goddamn war. Where all these fucking ICE agents want to run around with their 350-pound out of shape asses with their masks on, full dressed up in battle rattle, stressing and scaring Americans and residents around this country. Where are they to sign up and go volunteer to fight in this war? Fuck you, Donald Trump, and every one of you ball handling motherfuckers who want to put other Americans' lives at risk. Fuck you, Benjamin Netanyahu, who will gladly fight till every American is fucking dead. Those Americans are gone, Dave. Fuck anybody that approves of this devastation. Unnecessary, unprovoked war. Americans are dead because of it. More casualties are going to come because of it. And fuck everybody that's saying they're cheering on this reckless, short-sighted, unnecessary foreign adventure. Fuck you all.
Yeah, Nancy Mace going on the talk shows and saying that Donald Trump, when asked about the death of service members, said the Donald Trump is the most courageous president of our time.
Fuck you, Nancy Mace.
Not to mention Nancy Mace, who went out bawling her eyes out after hearing the testimonies of Epstein survivors. Again, so let's not forget that this is a convenient distraction,
Yeah.
even though Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna have pledged not to allow that to happen. But then you also have Lindsey Graham, that fucking pussy, who, and I apologize if I don't mean that to be used in derogatory of women. I mean it to be derogatory of Lindsey Graham. But like he's a coward,
Yep.
coward
Yep.
to get on there and say that this is what he wants. Remember, he wanted he had a cap that said make Iran great again, and he's been pushing for this and pushing for this. Again, Trump was again conned us all into this, and he's so easily manipulated, Andy. So easily manipulated. So
So we've
fucking
manipulated another distraction. I mean, you've seen the memes. I'm sure you've seen the memes of how, don't forget who you're fighting for, right? Jeffrey Epstein, right?
yep.
The continued effort to distract, to create unnecessary chaos and destabilization, to create conditions for a national emergency, right? To use to maintain power. This is gross, Dave. There's a lot of memes and posts over the weekend about how we're listening to the talking points coming out of this White House and its supporters. It's sounding like they're literally out of 1984, talking about how war is peace, talking about how this is the most bold, peaceful action we could ever see. As we continue to bomb, they've almost 10 countries now in the first year of this administration. We're on our second replacement world leader now. We've arrested one, we've killed another. What the fuck are we doing? This is an unbelievable timeline. And Dave, we know where it goes as we see the UK crack down on their Epstein individuals, on their crime. Still, nothing, no accountability in this country, no accountability for those that have violently hurt these young women, right? We know that the November elections are going to be put at risk by this administration. We know that's coming. If you don't know that's coming, wake the fuck up, right? We know that's coming, and we see it playing out right before our eyes. And again, at what cost? What cost is too high for this president? What cost is too high for supporters? Clearly, it's not America's sons and daughters dying, right? And Dave, we don't have money for education. We don't have money for health care. We don't have money for welfare. We've got plenty of money to fucking drop bombs all over the world and cause harm and chaos around the globe, killing people, killing families, women and children all around the world, and losing America's most precious treasure, right? Fuck every one of these fucking apologists.
Andy, I'll challenge you on that last part, and we will talk a little bit about this coming forward, because I do think this is a very interesting topic. Is the stock of ammunition and equipment that we have available
Yeah,
to the United States. You know who's salivating at that notion right now? China. And
yeah.
as they look at Taiwan and they see how, the United States is waging war against Iran, they're looking at this now and saying the stockpiles of American weapons is now extremely depleted, not because of this, but because still recovering from Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of stuff went to Ukraine, and that may have been second generation, third generation stuff to clear out the warehouses, but you can't produce that overnight.
Yeah.
And the war, so there's a lot of concern in the military right now. There's been a lot of reporting around this that, stockpiles continue to dwindle, and, the capabilities of the warfighter will be greatly diminished should something else break out around the world. Because again, you said it, 8 to 10 countries have been bombed already in this first year. I mean, what's next? What's next, Andy?
Yeah, Dave, we are importing foreign munitions for our troops to train with because we don't
Yeah.
have enough domestic supply. I mean, like, it is outrageous, right? It's just again to go back when you and I were serving in the Middle East, like our brothers and sisters, we were getting attacked with U.S. made munitions in Iraq, right? U.S. 155 artillery rounds were being used as improvised explosive devices by our adversaries to kill Americans. We had a lot of ammunition and we were passing it to our colleagues around the world. It was later used against us. Those stockpiles no longer exist. And we're using what munitions we do have for reckless foreign wars, putting this country and this world at risk. And you're absolutely right, Dave. We can't keep it up. We do not have the supply. We do not have the supply. So as Pete Hegseth wants to use the Defense Production Act to force Anthropic to provide them AI capabilities, are they going to put Americans to work in factories and say, hey, look, we do have full employment. Now you're all fucking making war rounds so we continue our war against our foreign enemies. 1984 was not meant to be a goddamn playbook, Dave. It was not meant to be a playbook. It was a warning. And here we are using it as a playbook and a guide and executing it. These are unbelievable times that we're living in, and it's just unreal. Unreal.
All right, we're going to end here, Andy. This will be obviously a topic we have almost every podcast for a little while now about what's happening. But again, you can hear the emotion from Andy and I. Like, obviously, we're very, having been in this situation where men and women were sent to foreign lands without a purpose. Here we are again by at the will of a con man. He's a con man, and we are all suckers, and shame on us. So, all right, Andy. With that, we'll wrap up our pod on Monday. We'll look forward to where things are on Wednesday. But until then, we'll catch up with you then, Andy.